Seconds? Like how many seconds until we're live?
You're live now.
Oh,
Not live, but you're live.
okay, sweet. Wait, I want to see what these do. Hello. Wait, Cole, you're muted still.
There we go.
Hello. Wait. Here's how.
Hello. Hello. Yeah.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. All right. We're ready. Are we ready to go live, boys?
Let's go.
All right. Welcome to 2 Minute Drill podcast, all about football. We were the guys, Griffin Cripe.
Cole Caniglia.
Johnny Rayner.
Yep. So basically, how we'll structure our podcasts, because we're new podcast, you could say. Well, we start off, we'll do the 3 levels of college football. Of football. We'll do high school football, college football, and NFL. And yeah, we'll just kind of do some predictions, basically talk about some of the games that have happened or are upcoming, and we'll talk about some fantasy football too for NFL. And yeah, so let's dive right in. We'll start in with high school football. Johnny, you want to take us away?
Yeah. So for the first game, Prep de Summit. I think Prep's gonna stick in for most of the game, but I think de Summit comes away at the very end, beating them 28-24.
I agree. It's gonna be a close game at the half. They're gonna. I think at the half it'll be 24-14 DeSmet, and then final score I had 35-24 DeSmet.
I think it's going to be a pretty close game overall. But give me Prep! Go Jays. Come on. Give me Prep for the win. Upset. Coming with the upset. I think the score is going to be 21-14 Prep.
I think an upset is very possible.
It's a big one there.
Yeah, it's a hot take, but I think Junior Jays can start off hot. They can get it rolling. They can roll out with a dub there.
That would be a huge win.
Yeah, huge win in St. Louis. That would put their rankings up tremendously.
Next game.
Yeah, you want to talk about?
Westside versus North. Starting quarterback for Westside is sophomore Braylon Warren.
Yeah, he's a really solid prospect all around, and I'm expecting by junior year he'll be getting some major offers from some big schools, some big names.
I think he already has
already an offer from Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah. I think those will just continue to roll in with. He's obviously a very talented young athlete, and yeah.
In the games he played last year, also he played pretty well.
For sure. I think with that said, I think North is a really good football team this year. Don't get me wrong, but I think Westside's gonna storm out with the win, 34-10.
Yeah, I think Westside's just gonna be a little too much for North, and I have Westside winning 28-10.
I had 31-17 Westside.
Yeah, I like that. Moving on, we got Basha versus Millard South. They were both semifinalists for state last year. Obviously, Basha out of state, and
Arizona team.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah, that's right. I think it's gonna be a really close game because I think, in my humble opinion, I think Millard South is probably the best football team in Nebraska right now. But I think that Bosch is just a more developed program. I looked up some of their stuff. They seem like a very well organized, and they have a great history in that program. So I think Bosch should come out to win. Close game though, 24-21.
Basha and Millard South both were semifinalists last year in their state tournament. I think Basha takes this one 41-28. Arizona's a deep football state. I'd say more than Nebraska, but
yeah, you got some really, really talented schools like Basha and Brophy Prep down there, and a lot of great athletes have came out of there, like Brock Purdy, and I know Kurt Warner's son is down there, or was down there at least. I can't remember it now, but yeah.
Yeah, for Basha Millard South, I have Basha 24-21. I do think Millard South is the best team in Nebraska, having Jet Tamala and Amarion Jackson, but I just think Basha is gonna be a little too much for Millard South, and they're gonna come out with the win.
Yeah. With that said, I think Millard South is still going to be best team in Nebraska, like I said, and I think we're going to dominate a lot of the victories along this season back at home in Nebraska.
And then the last like really big game for week 1 is Millard West and Millard North. I think Millard North is a top three school for football this year in Nebraska. So I think they're gonna rock Millard West 31-13 in a rivalry game.
Yeah,
I think it's just gonna be a little too much for Millard West.
I'd have to agree. I don't think maybe not that high scoring, but I think Millard North is going to come out with a solid win. I just don't think Millard West is the better team whatsoever, and I think Millard North is going to come out of there 21-7.
Yeah, Millard North got some great transfers coming in, and they got a good coaching staff. I think they're going to be too much for Millard West. It's a rivalry game. I think it'll be closer than everyone thinks. I think 28-21.
Oh, I like that. You think they'll stick in there a little
Yeah.
bit? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Millard West will be rowdy,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're an aggressive.
So we're doing predictions for the season
For what?
for high
Nebraska.
school.
Oh, for high school? Oh, yeah, sure. Our rankings, or what do you want? What do you mean?
Yeah. So I for my rankings for Nebraska high school football this year, for number 1 I had Millard South, number 2 I had West Side, 3 Millard North, 4 and 5 are kind of interchangeable. I have Kearney and Omaha North. At 6 I have Elkhorn South, 7 at Lincoln East, 8 Bellevue West, 9 Creighton Prep, and 10 Millard West.
Yeah, I think that's a solid list. I think a lot of those are interchangeable. Like I think Bell West might. I mean, my whole list is. I'd probably agree with that. Besides, I'd take Kearney's probably solidified a little bit better than Omaha North, and I'd say Bell West is a little bit better than Lincoln East. But with that said, I think there's a lot of teams that could do a lot of damage and upsets and stuff. Like I think Elkhorn South could take down some pretty big teams. I mean, at that they were down at that Husker football camp this summer. They were looking like a really good football team out there. You know, really aggressive, really pursuing on every play. So I think they could cause some damage. What about you, Cole?
Yeah, I had my top 5 as I think Westside will win again.
Really?
Millard South 2. 3s, I think it's a toss up. Elkhorn South or Omaha North, and then I had 5 Millard North.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I think that's a solid list. I think. With that said, though, I think Millard South's I think they're gonna pull out state, if I had to be honest. But I mean, it's so early in the season. Who knows? I mean, I think just going into the season that Millard South looks like the best football team, but who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I think a way too early state championship matchup would be Millard South West Side.
Yeah, way too. Yeah, I like that. A little way too early prediction. I like that.
That's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
Yep.
Moving on to college football. Exciting upset. First game, basically, of the whole first game and only major game so far. FSU versus Georgia Tech. Crazy. Everybody and their mom and their dad, their whole family had FSU winning that one. And they didn't. I mean, I think they started off really hot, but could not manage to pull it out. And Georgia Tech came out of there with a winning field goal, game-winning.
Yeah, Florida State started out really hot, having touchdown in like the first 2 minutes, and the offense just couldn't get it going for the rest of the game. And Georgia Tech jumped on the mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
I still think Florida State though will be a contender for the college football playoff, just moving it back to 12. I think
for sure.
I think they'll always start the season off a little rough, but I think they'll bounce back and have a pretty decent tolerable season.
It's kind of crazy because they went 13. They went 13 games in a row last year. We were undefeated all up into that bowl game against Georgia, and then got rocked. And then they got rocked by Georgia.
63-3.
Yeah, 63-3. Got rocked by Georgia, and then just lost to Georgia Tech. So they've lost 2 games to Georgia teams and also 2 games in a row, which is pretty crazy.
Florida State was number 10 coming into the game, and yeah, that was. I thought they were gonna steamroll them. First possession, they scored on the first possession, I think, and I was predicting a 40-point win. I think.
Yeah, I mean, pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of started to raise their eyebrows when it was tied 14 at half. I mean, I think people were kind of like, "Whoa, this is a little bit closer than people are thinking." And then,
Yeah.
to everybody's surprise, of course, Georgia Tech pulled out the win.
Yeah, Jamal Haynes and Haynes King, they had a combined 129 yards on the ground. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they were just that was
They
pretty
were
good.
running the ball a lot. I think
Mhm.
their quarterback had 15 attempts, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah.
And then Ryan Fitzgerald hit a 59-yard field goal that looked like he could have hit it at 65. It had some room.
Yeah, I mean, pretty nutty. That's really impressive. Like, first week out of a kicker. I mean, that's like as a coach, you'd love to see that. Like, big moments first week out of a kicker.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That guy will be a prospect in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. And so moving on now, we're gonna do our Nebraska football predictions for the season, and then we're gonna kind of revisit this like throughout the season.
Yeah.
See, all right, yeah. So John, you want to start us off?
Yeah. So for the overall record, I have Nebraska going 9-3, and then winning a bowl game. Kind of bold prediction, but I think they're gonna beat UTEP this week, 38-10. I think they're gonna have a really strong start. Dylan Raiola is gonna have a good first game in Lincoln. Hopefully, it continues. I have them beating Colorado. Then I have them beating Northern Illinois and in Illinois. And then I have them beating Purdue, beating Rutgers, and beating Indiana. So that's 7 wins off the start, going 7-0.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a little bold, but I think that Rule will put together a really good squad, and I think they're gonna do good. And then I have them taking their first loss against Ohio State, which right now they're ranked at number 2 in the country. So I think they can keep that up. I think they'll be a really tough team. And then I also have them dropping one to UCLA late, and then I have them beating USC, and then losing to Wisconsin. Huskers just haven't really been good against Wisconsin in the past couple of years. And then I have them beating Iowa in Iowa for the first time in like 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like that list a lot, John. So you think that they got 9-3?
9-3 in a bowl game.
You think they'll take that bowl game?
I think they'll take it.
All right, I like it. I like that enthusiasm. You know, I think they're gonna roll out UTEP. I think that'll be my prediction for that game. I think it'll be 31-3. I think they got a 28-point victory over them. Colorado, give me the Huskers. I mean, they had an amazing recruiting class. I think Colorado's overrated as could be, and I'm not sure who's favored at the moment, but I think Nebraska is a better football team, and also it's early in the season, so neither team will have a lot of momentum, and I just think Nebraska's gonna win. Northern Iowa win, Illinois win, Purdue win, Rutgers. I think it'll be a close game. I think they'll win, and Indiana. I think they're gonna draw. I think they're just gonna, have a mess up game. I feel like to Indiana, it's always been like good or bad.
Yeah.
It's usually,
Yep.
and I think Ohio State's gonna roll them probably. UCLA win, USC loss, Wisconsin loss, and I think to end the season besides the bowl game, I think they'll win in Iowa. I think so. I think they'll go 8-4, and they will lose in the bowl game.
Yeah. I had them at 7-5, losing a bowl game. I like Nebraska, but everyone overhypes them all the time. So
Yeah.
I have them winning against UTEP 31-10, losing against Colorado 10-14. Northern Iowa win, Illinois win, Purdue win, Rutgers they drop that one, Big Ten school. Indiana, they win that one. I think all three of those last games could be a toss-up. Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana. But I think they drop at least one of those.
Yeah, that's what I would agree with. I thought they would they're gonna drop off to Indiana out of those three schools, but it could be any of three of those schools. I think they'll just. I mean, those are all tougher schools, especially just having experience like played against them and stuff. So I think they'll drop off to one of those.
Yeah, I don't think the last 5 games they've played against those teams,
They have not won. all
yeah,
of them.
they haven't won all of them.
Yeah,
Or I think
they probably have
the other teams have
they-
more wins. Than
yeah, they probably have a win.
Nebraska.
They probably have a losing record over all three
Yeah.
of those teams.
Yeah.
Ohio State steamrolls them. UCLA, they get an upset. It's a close game. I have them winning by a field goal. USC is a loss. Wisconsin is a loss. I think they dropped that one. That's a close game as well. And then they win against Iowa. 7-5.
Yeah, lose a bowl game.
Yep.
They
They have a top 10 recruiting class though. I think this year, don't they?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure that's correct. I mean, there's also, as said, way too early predictions.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
for
anything
sure.
could happen.
Yeah.
That's why we'll be taking it week by week.
Yeah, we'll kind of come back and revisit these. That's about it for college football as of now. We'll come back next week with a lot more. I mean,
There wasn't
obviously it's starting
crazy
this.
games yet.
Yeah, no other really major games yet. I mean, so we'll be back next week. I mean, obviously this week college football starts up this weekend. So yeah, so we'll be back with that. Moving on to NFL. We got
Week
predictions for our week 1. Yeah, big week. There were some pretty crazy preseason games last week. I know we're not going to talk about those, but yeah, what do you guys think? John, will start us off.
Yeah, so Ravens Chiefs. It's always been a movie watching
Huge
those
game.
two teams play.
Movie.
Always close. I think Lamar and the Ravens are just going to be a little too much for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to come into this year with a little bit of a bigger head, coming into the season off a Super Bowl, and I just think they're gonna drop it. They might drop a couple games at the start, but yeah, I think the Ravens are just a little too much. And then I have the Falcons over the Steelers, Titans over the Bears, Texans, who I think are gonna have a really good year with C.J. Stroud having a lot of weapons, and Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I think they're gonna have a really good year this year. So I have
Yeah.
them going over the Colts. I have the Saints over the Panthers, Chargers over the Raiders, and I think the Chargers are gonna be really scary this year if they have Justin Herbert in action all year. I have the Cowboys, who just signed Dalvin Cook today, over the Cleveland Browns, and I have the Lions over the Rams, Eagles over the Packers, Bills over the Cardinals, Bengals over the Patriots, Dolphins over the Jaguars, Vikings over the Giants, Seahawks over the Broncos. I have Washington over the Commanders over the Buccaneers. I think Jaden Daniels is going to have a really big rookie year. I think he's going to be in the race for Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
And then for Monday night, Jets versus San Francisco. I think that's going to be one of the games of the year. I think the Jets just are going to – it's a little bit of bias, but I think the Jets are going to stun the 49ers and beat them. I think Aaron Rodgers back's going to be big. They have a really good receiver core and Garrett Wilson. I just think they're going to be a little too much for the 49ers.
Yeah, we got a little bias over here. I mean, we got a little Jets fan over here. I mean, I think Jets are going to be a really solid team. I agree, but I mean, I think we got a little bias. I mean, I really do. Yeah. That said, I'll go over mine really quickly. Here, I'll just use your schedule thing because I think that was a really good take by John. Chiefs are going to come to the season big head. I think Ravens are kind of out for blood. I think Ravens will take that game. I think it'll be a really good game, though. I mean, we have there's some major games this week: Ravens, Chiefs, Jets, 49ers. What else? Packers, Eagles.
I think the Browns and the Cowboys.
Browns
will be a great
Cowboys will
game.
be a good game. Yeah. Yeah.
Rams Lions.
No, I think Lions are gonna smoke.
I think that'll be a close game too.
Really. All right. That said, I think give me the Steelers over the Falcons. Give me the Titans over the Bears. Give me the Texans over the Colts. Like John said, I think C.J. Stroud is gonna be really exciting to see this year with Stephon Diggs. I think they'll be a really scary dynamic duo for the league to see. And yeah, give me Saints over Panthers. And no, yeah.
That's a close game.
I mean, they're not. Neither team is
Yeah.
great.
Neither team's
Actually, give me
yeah.
Panthers. Give me Panthers over Saints.
Bryce Young, I think.
Yeah,
have a
Bryce.
Really good season.
That's literally the only season.
Agreed.
Chargers over Raiders. Give me Dallas over the Browns. Give me Lions over Rams. Give me Eagles, Packers. It'll be a great game. Give me Eagles probably. Give me Bills over Cardinals. Give me Bengals over Patriots. Give me Dolphins over Jaguars. Give me Vikings over New York, and give me Seahawks over Broncos. Take the Commanders over Tampa Bay. They're not a very good team this year, and give me the 49ers.
Okay. I like start the year, first game. I'm gonna go with the boys. I like the Ravens.
Boys?
Yep.
Boys?
And then I think the Falcons take the next game.
Really?
Yep.
Really? What do you see in them?
They had a great free agency year. Kirk Cousins pulled in. Kyle Pitts is gonna score more touchdowns than one.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be a big fantasy too.
Yeah, I have him in fantasy this year, so
He'll be an underdog. I
hope
think.
he does a little
I think
better.
I
I think Kirk Cousins will help
be fine.
for sure.
Kirk, yeah, he had a mega contract. I don't even know how his
Oh yeah.
for how old he is. I don't even know how his agent
What is he, like,
negotiated that.
35.
Yeah.
I think they'll get 4 years, 3 or 4 years out of him,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean,
Let's look up what's that
I
contract.
think Bijan will also have a big
Great
year
year, yeah.
in terms of
He was a
fantasy.
rookie last
and-
year?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we'll have a big year in terms of fantasy too. Maybe get in. They don't have the greatest wide receiver core, so I think they
No.
might give it to him on the ground. I think we'll have a rack up a lot of yards and be really good for fantasy owners.
I also like Drake London. That's another fantasy guy.
Yeah.
That I think they have him going early, which I don't know. He'll stay with the predictions.
Yeah.
And then I have Bears over the Titans. Bears also have a deep team, but usually they don't do so hot, even though they have good teams.
Yeah, number 1 draft pick they got.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Yep.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, he has some high
high
predictions.
expectations around him.
for sure. Texans. I mean, that'll
Yeah, I
be
mean-
I like Anthony Richardson though, man.
Yeah, I
Coming
think
off
he's
injury.
gonna be a solid QB.
He'll have a career. He'll
He
have
will
a late
have
career.
a lengthy career, and I think he's gonna be a stud in fantasy this year. I have him
Oh,
in
yeah.
fantasy. I'm really excited about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I would be too.
That's a great fantasy guy. I like the Saints over the Panthers. Like Griff said, not a very good game, or it might be a close game, but it's
Not two great teams.
yeah. I like the Saints in that one. I like in a divisional game. I like the Raiders.
Mhm.
And then an upset. I have the Browns over the Cowboys. The Cowboys, I don't know. They just signed CeeDee Lamb late, which I think he was sitting out of practice. I like CeeDee Lamb in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the number 1 receiver
Really?
later in the year.
Biggest
I think
non-quarterback
if
contract.
Yep.
I think if Jay Jettis stays healthy, I think he'll be better.
Yeah. Yep. I like the Lions over the Rams. It'll be a close game. I like the Packers over the Eagles in a great game. What was that? That's a night game on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
Sunday
I
night.
think it's in Brazil too. I
Yeah.
think it's-
Oh,
It
really?
is.
It's a
That's in
little Brazil game.
Yeah, I think that's the first South American NFL game ever.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And then the Bills over the Cardinals. Bengals over the Patriots. The Bengals are gonna have a huge year. Those guys are in their prime of their careers. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And I don't think they have T. Higgins anymore, do they? They still have T. Higgins?
yeah,
They do.
They do.
They do.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they with Yeah, that's a great receiving core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully.
And then they always, no matter who the guy is, their tight ends always get looks. That's another. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't even know who their tight end is, but he'll probably be good. They always have a top 10 tight end. Dolphins. I like the Dolphins over the Jaguars. I like the Giants over the Vikings.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
the Vikings
really?
are not. The Vikings are not going to be a great team. I think they'll finish last in their.
You
in the
think so?
NFC North, yes.
I think
Wow.
Daniel Jones.
Them or
He's
the Bears.
getting hated on a little. I think he'll prove the haters wrong and have a pretty decent
That's
season.
an upset, but I don't. I think at the end of the season, it's not gonna be an
Yeah,
I
upset.
mean,
Yeah, I think it's a
You a Vikings fan,
good
Griff?
pick.
no, my brother is, but I just think I don't know. I like the Vikings over
Yeah.
the Giants.
And then the Seahawks over the Broncos again. Not
Hawk.
a
Let's
very
go.
big game.
Let's go.
And then I like the Commanders.
Yeah.
And then San Francisco rolls the Jets.
Rolls.
I don't think that'll be a good game.
Rolls is a strong
The Jets will be good later in the
word,
season.
John.
They
Rolls
will,
is a strong word, John.
I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna have a really good season, and I think just like they signed Mike Williams from the Chargers, who's one of the greatest one-on-one, like just throwing it up,
for sure.
throwing up wide receivers of
6'5".
all time.
Yeah.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Just toss it up to him, he'll go get it. I think he's gonna have fun with Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams out there, and then Brees Hall, who is one of
talent.
a top
He's gonna
two.
He'll be a top 3 running back in
in the league. Yeah, I think he'll have a really good season.
I
In
think,
the
I think
MVP
him and
talks.
him and
so,
CMC are gonna be
Yeah.
just dominant.
All right, you guys want to get into fantasy?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for
All right,
sure.
let's do it real quick.
Let's just
quickly
do.
go over some stuff. Yeah.
I just have a couple league winners with me. For my first league winner, I have Garrett Wilson, who has last year 1,000 yards, over 1,000 yards with Zach Wilson at quarterback. I just think his limitations are just through the roof with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's obviously going to be the number one target, and I think he'll have a monster year this year. And then for my other one, I have Kyler Murray, who last year was injured a lot, little tinier, but I just think like he'll have a really good season this year. I think he'll bounce back. He's got Rondo Moore, who's a really good after the catch receiver, and I think he'll just be using him a lot, using his feet a lot. So I think he'll be a really good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah. I think we got to wrap up. I think we're a little short on time today, but if you're tuning in, thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.
See ya.
Good pod. Yeah, I think I gotta turn it off. Hawk.